I'm an art therapist and I work in the NHS. And art therapy is a form of psychological therapy that uses art making as its primary form of communication. Most of my clinical work has been with people with learning disabilities. And this is a group of people who have been consistently excluded and marginalised in our society. When I started my research, I really wanted to think differently about how we could include the voice of people with learning disabilities in research. And so I thought that a collaboration with activists and artists who are also people with learning disabilities was a way to go.
Hello? Can I speak to Tony Blair, please? Are you still enjoying your swimming?
Oh! I told you this when it came out. It should be read to my records.
These are the parts of the brain.
Lawnmowers is a theatre company run by, for and with people with learning disabilities. Ever since its infancy and the founding of the company in 1986, it's always had that political force through line that it wants to create change and make a real impact in reducing inequalities as it goes forward.
And in that time, it's done numerous different shows, some that some of us have been involved with, some that the original members were involved with.
I'm one of the founder members of the Lawnmowers. I've been at Lawnmowers for 30 years. Started off with 5 people, and then from there it just ballooned up into, feels like thousands of people.
We're not selling lawnmowers or mowing the grass. None of that.
Nope.
No.
So when I think of it, I think of family and also supportive, because everyone helps and supports each other.
And we love working together. It's loads of hard work and we love it.
Yeah.
Getting a birdie.
I get them early, all right. Chili every single morning.
What are you two doing?
Nothing.
This is a job for a condom man. Why we started the Lawnmowers? It was to let people know about people with learning disabilities that don't have 2 heads. It's just like anybody else.
My collaboration with the Lawnmowers has been a form of co-production, and this can be a buzzword that gets bandied about in research and healthcare. But right from the first day that I met the Lawnmowers, it was their professionalism, their skills and expertise, and this common language that we shared together that I knew that we could make this difficult, challenging journey work.
When we first heard out Nicki, it was a bit strange. Like, so this art therapist is coming up to talk to us. We know what she's going to talk to us about.
You're challenging traditional power structures and hierarchies. You're not really sure where you're going. You're on a journey together, unsure of what the output is, and you have to stick together. You have to build trust and share respect to get the job done.
I think from day one we all got a good vibe from her. We all knew she was going to be good to work with.
Nicki's PhD has been the first full research project that Lawnmowers and myself have seen from start to finish. And what's been really exciting about that is we've seen our theatre making skills and our tools not only informing research, but us becoming and believing that we are called researchers and researchers in our own right.
I already told you, I'm still in my pyjamas. I don't want Theo to see me like this, and I'm not doing art therapy on an empty stomach.
Breakfast is over now, you're not coming down.
I don't want Theo to see me like this.
Through this amazing journey that we've been on, we've identified 5 core elements for authentic co-production to happen. In the professional context where I come from in the NHS, and also in academia, it's not very common not to be in the position of expert, as uncomfortable as that might be. However, when working in co-production, power is shared differently, and expertise is valued differently. Co-production demands that each partner becomes vulnerable. We have to share the uncomfortableness in the work to make it happen and to really make progress.
We knew we had a process, we knew we had a journey that we were going to go on together, but what that looked like, what it would throw up along the way, we really didn't know. And there was a lot of vulnerabilities that we had to sort of work through together, but that was where the key was. We were together, in this journey together, side by side, going for it.
So for me, aspects of that vulnerability have been embedded throughout our collaborative process. In each of the creative or theatre-driven activities that we undertake together, we're doing that as partners, sharing with each other, learning from each other, respecting each other's different skills and expertise. Our very first project working together was called Unlabeling the Language. And in this workshop, we looked at the labels or the names that people with learning disabilities had been given during their lives. This is something that as an educator, I would teach about the history of learning disabilities, the names given by government and by derogatory labels given by others.
And what was really interesting about that process was that we were able to bring Lawnmowers back catalogue or archive footage or past shows that we've worked on and look at the issue in a very deep way.
Feeble-minded, can work but has no concept on handling money. And if she has kids, the kids what she will have are even worse than what she is.
One particular show did look at all of the language that people were called, which Nicki was looking at, like looking at the, were called imbeciles, and you had a moral imbecile, and you had an idiot.
We took that language and flipped it so to hold a mirror up to them and say, look, this person can do this person can do that.
He used to get people to beat me up. So one day I thought he was going to kill me.
And within those shows, Lawnmowers were showing that had always been an issue, and they were trying to make, the audience and make the world see that we shouldn't be getting called these names, and certainly in the society right now, those names shouldn't be what's existing.
Oh, and if you recognise any of these 4 categories, let me know, and me and my colleagues will lock them away from decent people like our good selves.
To talk together about the impact of these labels, what they meant to people, was just something else utterly, completely. And I saw for the first time how starkly lived experience really adds and enriches what we know from the statistics around health inequalities, around stigma, and around exclusion. Quite early on, we realised that to really deepen our collaboration and to build on our authentic co-production, we needed to take risks. And those risks involved really stepping deeply into each other's worlds, learning more about art therapy and learning more about forum theatre and theatre processes. So for me, one of the risks was playing roles in forum theatre, inhabiting characters such as being a bad art therapist. And that's not the risk of getting on stage and improvising. It's the risk of treating people with learning disabilities, who in another context would be my clients, badly.
With full theatre, we take real life experience of everybody, put them all together, make a play paper. It's the worst case scenario, and then we might ask somebody, right, what do you think of what happened there? And they might say, well, that person was rubbish. They could have said that. They should never know the person. Stuff like that. So we get them to change what's happening.
In order to fully embark on this journey together and have this collaborative experience, we knew that we had to inform Nicki's PhD by experience in art therapy.
Yeah. I love this, the texture on that's amazing. They've really
I didn't know much about art therapy, I knew art for like school and drawing and such, but with art therapy, it makes you feel more relaxed, have your own time, and yeah, just open new things for us.
Ooh, very artistic, I say.
Yes, artistic.
Yeah.
Messy, I love it.
Yeah.
It's allowing us to make a mess and not be judged on that.
I think it was probably fear that the guys and that Claire were experiencing about initially taking up the offer of engaging with art materials. Of course, that's all changed now, but early on, it was really a challenge to get them engaged, get them working with the materials.
We did some gun loss so we could get that sense.
And we knew by trusting Nicki's expertise, we could look at this issue and do an art therapy session and inform Nicki's PhD in a more collaborative, authentic, genuine way because we understood and we believed and trusted in the process of art therapy.
At first I was reluctant to it, but then I went, okay, so I did like a timeline and showed pictures of the kids, my husband, the dogs, and whatever.
And by the end of that workshop, it was also quite incredible to witness the changes that they'd experienced. They were talking about knowing each other on a different level, about learning things about each other and about me that they didn't know before, despite having this incredibly long-established relationship as theatre makers and practitioners for over 10 years together. So working through authentic co-production brought something new for all of us. In many areas of research, people with learning disabilities are excluded before we've even begun. They might be considered hard to reach or difficult to engage, and that means we don't even hear what they might want or they might need. And in art therapy, I knew that we hadn't asked people with learning disabilities whether art therapy was any good, what they thought about it. So working with the Lawnmowers, we knew that was something we needed to do in my PhD. We worked together to design a study that was as accessible as possible for people with learning disabilities to give their views about art therapy. And then together we also worked on analysing those interviews.
When Nicki brought us the interviews of people with learning disabilities, that was a real moment of levelling up and becoming and feeling like true researchers.
We had to listen to interviews of different women that she'd worked with who had different experiences, some good, some bad.
And we heard the different stories, some emotional, some really good stories.
Me personally, I could relate to some of the women that she worked with.
Yeah, it was just beautiful to listen to what they were saying and to what they had made.
What is this group?
It's an in and out.
But why are they in therapy?
Because of traumas.
Because of traumas. Yeah. So they've experienced traumas, yet
They're still watching things.
they're watching horror movies.
Yeah.
That for me doesn't sit. So when we did a thing called coding, which is usually where a researcher in a traditional sense would look at a transcript and look for codes and themes that are emerging through the script, we knew we had to do that in a very different way.
And in one of the sessions, Adina came in, something had happened in the week and she was crying.
So by listening and hearing the people's stories, we got a real sense that this matched and was very similar to story making or script making for theatre. And yes, we had to be very considered. These were real people's stories, this wasn't fiction, but we had the same sort of skill set that we knew that we could use when using, say, the gingerbread man technique to help us understand and deepen our knowledge of what was going on for that person with learning disabilities when they had experienced art therapy.
The stuff she brought to us, we used in a way that could inform the piece of the show what we did, the film we made.
Based around a bad day or a bad period of someone's life going through the system of trying to have art therapy and all different things happening.
Is it our therapy day? No one woke us up. No one told us. I'm even on my breakfast or my coffee yet.
I'll give you 5 minutes and come and tell us see you.
In research, analysis often follows a formulaic, prosaic, step-by-step method, which can be very hard to understand if you're somebody who doesn't read or doesn't write. So we needed to think about really specific adaptations to include every member of the Lawnmowers and really focus on people's strengths in the group so they could contribute their voices, their experience as valid members of the team. Of course, the lived experience of people with learning disabilities was absolutely central, but there was this additional magic brought about through the skills that the actors had, their knowledge of forum theatre, and that expertise they brought to every workshop that we ran together.
Stuart, looks like you had enough.
You got 15 minutes left in your session today, Stuart.
And I will never, ever forget the first time that I had this moment of realization. I was watching the guys do some improv around scenes where they were acting out roles that they currently couldn't possibly have in real life. And I had this moment where I stopped myself and went, this is it. This is a parallel of the discrimination, of the exclusion that we're seeing in the real world, and a real, just incredible realization of this is the power of forum theatre, of lived experience, and of working in collaboration with a group like the Lawnmowers.
I think it was an honour playing Stuart as someone who's got learning disabilities and like an actor, and it was just, it was great. And I think it just shows because of the learning disability issues that we face. So I think playing Stuart was an honour, but also great as someone with learning difficulties. I can do it.
It will come as no surprise, but there's a significant cost to engaging in authentic co-production at this level. The costs are time and resources. However, the results and the outputs go far beyond traditional academic resources. So of course, writing papers, contributing to evidence is essential and important. But the outputs that we've developed are inclusive and accessible. We have training packages, we have videos, we have theatre productions.
All of these offshoots that we didn't anticipate when we first joined together and started to work, but we were able to respond to these opportunities as they've organically come, conferences, speeches, whatever the opportunities have been.
And they matter because we can get findings into practice quicker. We can change people through having met them, having shared in an experience of teaching and training.
And we can all use that and create a better research landscape where people with lived experience are involved and are co-producing research in the UK.
As an art therapist working in the NHS, I knew how to work with people with learning disabilities, how to engage with them in art therapy and get them really using the materials to help them make changes in their lives. But what I didn't know or didn't expect was the depths of relationships that would develop through co-production with the Lawnmowers. And that's been a real privilege, and I'm now proud to say that members of the Lawnmowers and Claire are my friends at the end of this journey. What that's done in terms of me as a researcher and me as an art therapist is change my practice forever, really. Because through the uncertainty, through the messiness of this co-production relationship, we've found ways out. We've found ways to make sense of complex, difficult data. We've found ways to treat people's stories with care and respect and kindness. And most of all, we've found ways to be brave and vulnerable together.
say to all that.
What can I say about Nicki?
It's just been one of the best experiences for us as Lawnmowers.
I like your project, Nicki. I like to do it again for you.
Making up for the last 4 years, there's been a blast.
We've never worked with somebody that long.
Thank you very much, Nicki, for being with us.
I love this journey we've been on. We loved it.
So all I say is thank you very much, Nicki. Best of luck for your PhD. We love you. It's now you're one of the Lawnmowers family.
I hope it does very well. So good luck, Nicki.
She's just a wonderful person to work with, and she's, you know, just part of the family now.
She belongs a lot more, once a lot more, always a lot more. So, yeah, good luck. Please, 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 come back after. Please.